I flew all the way to South Korea to not get one, but two different color analysis. I was so obsessed with this trend because I wanted to see if I had good taste for what colors look good on me, and also just to get new information to kind of like freshen up my wardrobe. So I saw that there was a lot of mixed reviews, which is why I ended up getting two different ones to see if the results match for scientific purposes. And even if you don't look like me, I have some universally helpful tips that I think will be beneficial for anybody out there. And as always, I'll include all the details of these spots down below in the description box. And before we get started, a huge thank you to today's sponsor, FabFitFun. If you guys have never heard of FabFitFun, they are a lifestyle subscription where you get 6 full-size products every single season. I love curated things like this. This is like a seasonal gift box, but what makes it different is that you actually choose all of the products in the box, so you know that they fit with your lifestyle. So the 6 items I selected are the exfoliating body bar from the company Mother. This one's actually 100% biodegradable and it's great for like exfoliating the legs before you shave. Second is a complete must-have. I do not travel without these. This is a 24 karat gold collagen eye mask from the company Beautyology Lab. Great for the plane, great for when you land. Next, I have the overnight moisture mask from Desi Skin. I'm a huge fan of Desi Perkins and I've always wanted to try her brand. So I clicked this one so fast. I can't wait to try it. The packaging and just like her as a person, like I can't wait to try this. Then for a brand I literally love and use every single day is Osha. They had the Ocean Eyes Age Defying Eye Serum. I literally use their body oil and serum every single day, so I can't wait to try their eye serum. Then I got this picture frame from Trina Turk. This one is like one of their home decor items that you can mix in if you're kind of sick of the skincare. And the last item is a waffle knit robe. As you can see, it's like a great mix of home, wellness, skincare stuff. So those are my spring picks, and literally like 2 or 3 of these items full price cost more than the membership of the box. There are 2 different memberships. There is the seasonal membership at $69.99, or you can do the annual membership where you save $60 and it reduces the cost of the box to $55. And literally like $55 costs like pretty much one of these items. So you're getting so many extra products for a massive discount if you wanted to buy them all separately. So if you guys are interested in a yummy goodie box every single season, you can use my special code to get a free gift valued at over $200 when you sign up. I'll include all the details to FabFitFun down below. Let's get back to the video. Okay, so what is a color consultation before we get into the 2 different results? Basically, this is where they analyze all the facets of your color and tone in terms of hair, eye color, skin color, and the goal is to find all of the best complementary signature colors for you to make better choices in your style decisions. The philosophy seems to be pretty consistent, where it's broken down into 4 different seasons: spring, summer, fall, and winter. And depending if you have warm or cool or neutral skin tones, it's really gonna drive whether or not you're gonna fit into spring and autumn, which is the warmer tones, or summer and winter, which is the cooler tone. Then beyond the actual colors, there's different gradations in terms of the lightness and darkness. When you start mixing whites into these colors, it'll be lighter like pastels. The middle will be a mixture of gray for a mid-tone, and then the mixture of black is what gives it the darker, richer colors. And then on like the x-axis, you can go from soft to vivid colors, so like circus colors or like lighter pastels. So there's a lot of different variables on what color you fit into in terms of seasonality, but also in terms of saturation and intensity, lightness and darkness. Oh, they also analyze if you look good in silver versus gold jewelry. And then the final cherry on top is they look through your makeup bag and they try to figure out what the best color and placement is for your face. That's just the basic rundown of what the color analysis is. Let's go into the results. I was looking for places, by the way, that weren't super saturated, that I kept seeing all over the internet. Those kind of felt like very big box, famous places that just like whip people in and out. And I wanted a more intimate, personalized experience. So I saw Vic's Lab on Reddit saying that it was foreigner friendly and really great for asking a bunch of questions. So this place, I believe, is in the Hongdae district. And I believe you can do a 1-on-1, 2-on-1, or 3-on-1 consultation. So you could go as a singular person or as a group. I, of course, did the 1-on-1 because I wanted to film and just ask a bunch of questions, and I got my consultant Dana, who was fabulous. And there's like a very brief presentation to kind of explain what I just told you. Explain the color wheels, show a lot of different celebrity photos to kind of get you to grasp the concept. And then she even quizzed me on like, what do you think is like high contrast, low contrast? What do you think the celebrity looks like with this color and this color, to try to kind of get me juiced up for what was to come. And we moved over to the chair, and the best part of the color analysis, like so fun in the these places, they have racks of different color swatches for not only, again, every single season, but all the different tones for light to dark. Really just focusing on the face. And the key thing is like a mixture of intuition of what you think looks good immediately without thinking, and also what makes your skin bright and light and erases shadows. This sounds so crazy because it's like, oh, we're just flipping colors throughout, but really when you actually compare different colors back to back, you can instantly be like, ha, or eh. So first things that we notice is I definitely have a warm yellow base skin tone, which kind of drove, all right, I'm probably gonna look good in spring and autumn because those colors naturally have a warm yellow tint in them. So what she did was kind of bring in a little bit of variation between cool and warm to get the contrast. But for comparison and confirmation, we did a couple comparisons in terms of specific colors. So for example, green, we had like a peacock green that was more of like a teal that has blue mixed in versus a warmer earth tone khaki or even like a hunter green. Comparing both of those together, I definitely looked better in greens that were earthy, natural, and yellow based compared to the greens that were like more winter color, like royal, cool tone and gemstone colors. And then for something more subtle, we also compared pinks. So like a cool tone, bright, like pastel pink was okay, but the more warm tone coral blush pink looked so much better on me. Even though those colors look very similar together when you're looking at it maybe on a rack. Even when I looked at things like lavender compared to pink, those are both girly, feminine pastel colors, but I definitely look better in those blush pinks that have salmon and coral undertones. So once we got a good grounding on like, okay, I look good in warm tones, spring and autumn naturally have warmer tones, and summer and winter have cooler tones. So automatically, spring and autumn are gonna be my go-to seasons. And this is really important for shopping, by the way, because it's spring right now. So I know that I can kind of like really indulge and find things that are gonna be so universally flattering for my skin tone because it's present and available to buy right now on the market. So for example, one of my favorite finds that I never even thought of is I look good in butter yellow. So right now, butter yellow is a really trending color and it looks good on me. I feel so good. I'm buying these nice little buttery yellow cute tops to incorporate with a lot of my neutrals like white. It makes my skin look really bright. It accentuates the yellowness in my skin tone. And it's like another soft feminine color to kind of contrast with a lot of the dark neutrals that I have present in my closet. So colors like the blush pink and this looks good as spring light. Dana's opinion was that the spring muted made me look a little bit washed out. So then we started to compare it to the spring vivid. And the spring vivid actually looked really good on me. I found out that I looked amazing in red and also orange. And even though this is something that I wouldn't wear a lot because I'm more of a neutral professional girly, she made an amazing comment that this is a great way to incorporate on vacation or a party, fun activities where it accentuates my aura and the look of my skin, and it's like a nice accent color thing to pull from. So maybe I can just do a fun scarf, like a Missoni looking scarf that has bright vivid spring colors as an accent, but it pulls me out of my comfort zone of something I would never try before. Then we moved over to autumn, which listen, I already knew I was an autumn girly, even when I was doing like ChatGPT prompts and trying to figure out what my color was. So if you guys kind of look like my skin tone and my coloring, this might also be a good representation for you, but we basically tried the autumn light, autumn muted, and autumn dark. Dana's opinion is that the autumn dark was probably some of my best colors, which I was really excited to hear because I love dark like Cabernet, maroon, espresso colors, and I even look good in navy, which is great because I love the color blue, but it turned out I looked terrible in most different variations of blue. Navy is the one that is at least darker and more grounding and looks better with my darker hair and features, but like other shades of blue, I look terrible, which makes so much sense because anything like mid blue or like light blue, I don't really reach for too often except for maybe like a light crisp blue shirt for the summer for professional wear. But there's a reason why intuitively I never gravitated toward like periwinkles or like lime greens. My final analysis for Vic's Lab was pretty spot on for what I thought, but she made some really great tips that I wanted to share. So first is that anything that's really, really dark and strong can be kind of harsh when partnered very close to the face. So an option to do is to have like this as the outer piece or something that's like the pants a little bit farther, and then having something a little bit more complementary towards the face. So it brightens the face, but you're still surrounding it with darker complementary colors that grounds it and gives it nice contrast. That was very interesting. Next, I also really like this concept of having a neutral base where you know you look good. It complements your life, whether it's work or just daily activities, but don't stray away from other colors that look amazing on you. Have fun with it by going to a party, packing it for vacation. You can just kind of conceptualize having a few fun statement pieces in your closet, and you can go all out with experimenting something out of the box. And because you're basing everything between warm or cool tone, these all should not really clash together. They still have a lot of harmony because they're based in warm tone, which, by the way, my analysis for the metallics and the metal for this was yellow gold, and rose gold looks exceptionally good on me too. So I was like, ooh, I should start buying and trying rose gold jewelry, because even with my makeup, I wear a lot of rosy tones, warm romantic tones, and then lastly for neutrals. So because I'm warm tone, when comparing stark white with an ivory was gonna be better. When discussing grays, actually the darker charcoal gray looks better than lighter grays because it leans a little bit more like towards a cool area. And I was able to wear black, thank God, my whole freaking wardrobe is black. And then moving on to my second location is called Color MUI. And this place, actually, I did a color and a body skeletal consultation. This is a separate video. We're just gonna go over the color consultation. Big disclaimer here. I feel so embarrassed and like crappy, but I got a micro needling impromptu session the day before this, and my face turned so beet red. So it kind of changed the undertone of my face. I felt so bad because I wanted to make this video so like exactly comparative, but I just wanted to be fair to give you guys that opinion. And the biggest thing I noticed between these two different analyses is that it depends on the consultant's personal aesthetic. So I noticed that Han has like very like luxe it girl branding, and she also leaned more towards a harmonious, softer look. And I felt like that lended to her recommendations and suggestions to me. I had a very similar assessment where I looked good in warm colors, I looked great in dark colors, but her opinion was I looked better in the more muted, low chroma type colors. So not necessarily super vivid and not necessarily super pale, but she actually liked that more neutral zone in terms of the light to darkness. So in comparison to Vic's lab that recommended to stay away from overly gray tones, Han at Color MUI recommended more mid-tones. So it's pretty much the same process. She is whipping through all these different colors and comparing and figuring out what looks best on my skin. Han's final decision is that I look best in autumn muted type, which is like the more gray mixed mid-tone, and then the dark type, which is the one colors mixed with black. She said these two were the best colors for me. I do look okay in vivid colors, but with her aesthetic and recommendation and being more of like a professional girl, she wired it down to these two. And in contrast to Vic's lab, in terms of the hair color, which she suggested like any warm brown tones or like coppery colors for my hair, Han suggested ash browns, matte browns, or even like a khaki brown. Again, I think that is because my face was more pink than usual. It kind of skewed this result. For anyone out there that does have more of a pink tone, maybe this is meant for you. She also recommended rose gold as my #1 pick. Again, with the pink undertone, maybe the rose gold hit harder, but the first place also suggested rose gold and then yellow gold as a secondary. And then just like the first place, the recommendations for makeup were so fantastic. I love the fact that Korean makeup has such a wide variety of amazing neutrals. So the first place suggested a lot of corals, peaches, salmon pinks, nice reds, orange lipsticks, things that are just like really that sun-kissed citrusy colors. And then Han, whether it was my red skin or Han's personal preference, she leaned more into the muted area, honey fig colors, more browns, pomelos, a little bit more subtle in terms of like the color intensity. So those are my two different color analysis in Korea. I feel really confident not only in the results because it really echoes my intuition and what I already had in my closet and what I knew looked really good on me. I think that Han really likes the subtlety and the blend and the harmoniousness of my skin tone melting into those mixed gray colors because it just has like a very soft softer, low contrast effect, which I also really like. So it's really hard to say like, okay, you need high contrast with dark and vivid colors versus something that's gonna be romantic and soft. I think this is where your personal assessment of what you like and how you wanna portray yourself can fit in, and you can choose. All right, so I'm gonna link both of these places down below so you guys can check them out if you guys are visiting Korea. If you guys want my entire ultimate girls itinerary to Seoul, please be sure to click this video next to watch my recommendations for the best places to shop and indulge in K-beauty treatments. Also take advantage of my promo code for FabFitFun for your next annual membership down below in the description box. Love you guys so much, and I'll catch you guys over on this next video.